The long-awaited Dan Heng Imbibitor and Xuan is nearly here, but between the insanely high DPS unit and a defensive support, who should you pull for? How's it going, everyone? This is Kay, and I'll break down the character skills, role strengths, and weaknesses. Starting with Dan Heng, ignore his regular non-buff basic attack. You won't or shouldn't use it. His sole purpose is to enhance his basic with his skill. His skill has 3 levels and does not consume SP when activating it. But upon using his enhanced basic, you will consume SPs according to how many times you tapped his skill. So yes, technically his skill does consume SP, it's just that if you cancel his enhanced attack, then no SP is used. Your goal is to maximize his skill by using level 3 enhanced attack. This means you're consuming 3 SP when attacking. He is a heavy SP user, and what's worse is that he doesn't replenish SPs when using his enhanced basic. Normally, his basic hits 2 times, level 1 enhanced hits 3 times, level 2 hits 5 times, and level 3 hits 7 times. When using his level 2 and 3, his skill will provide a dominating stack for each individual hit, starting on the 4th hit onwards. Each stack increases his crit damage with a max of 4 stacks, so to obtain all 4 stacks, you need to use level 3. Speaking about hits, level 2 and 3 will also hit adjacent enemies, starting with the 4th hit onwards, making him quite reliable as an AoE damage dealer. Now, I did mention he is a SP negative character, which is a major weakness. Thankfully, his ult provides 2 Squama stacks, max you can have is 3. These Squama stacks can be used in place of SP for Dan. So normally he consumes 3 SPs for level 3 enhanced basic, but by using his ult, the level 3 skill will consume only 1 SP. His ult hits 1 target with adjacent damage, which is normally a bit weaker. His A2 regenerates 15 energy at the start of battle, A4 increases CC debuff resistance, and A6 increases crit rate when dealing damage to enemies with imaginary weakness, but supposedly this was changed to crit damage instead of crit rate. His talent grants him a Righteous Heart stack after each hit he deals, which increases his damage, and there is a max of 6 stacks. Basically, this fits into his whole, the more hits he deals, the higher the damage. E1 actually increases the max stacks to 10 and grants 2 stacks per hit, but hey, not all of us are rich, so let's just stick with E0. His technique is great for dashing across the field, and upon hitting enemies and making contact and entering battle, he deals AoE damage to all enemies and gains 1 Squama stack, you know, the one that replaces the SP for him. So, the thing is, Dan is going to be a DPS monster. If you've seen some leaked gameplay, the guy is going to destroy enemies, and I mean absolutely wreck them. His main issue is SP management, of course, so supports really need to be considerate for this role. Your goal is to spam his level 3 enhanced basic, so without those Squama stacks or SPs, his efficiency will be severely reduced, but Dan Heng Imbibitor is looking to be like a T0 DPS character. Xuan is a little different compared to the other preservation characters like Japard or March. Instead of shields, it's more so damage absorption and reduction. Her skill grants a buff that will have Xuan take about 65% damage for all other allies. This lasts for 3 turns, and while the Matrix buff is active on your team, it increases their HP, which scales off of her max HP. It will also increase crit rate, so it's a very good supportive skill. Her talent will also give a permanent damage reduction to everyone as long as she's alive. What's great is that her talent will also heal herself if her HP drops to 50% or lower. The auto self-healing does not work if she gets one-shotted, but as long as she survives, she can heal around 80 to 95% of her health depending on the talent level. This is a great way to keep her alive, especially since she's taking some damage for everyone. Now obviously, this will be too OP if there isn't a limit. Fu will have 1 self-heal trigger count by default and can have a max of 2, which leads into her ult, which gives her 1 trigger count. Her ult is an AoE that deals damage scaling with her max HP, but the point of this, again, is to spam this to gain the trigger count for her self-heal. For her A1 trace, when her Matrix buff is active, she will gain 20 energy when using her skill. A4 is a handy ability that heals all allies a bit when using her ultimate, and A6 will prevent any CC debuffs on teams when her Matrix buff is active. The debuff resistance can occur once per Matrix activation. Her technique creates a shield that prevents you from getting hits in the open field. When going into battle while the shield is active, the Matrix buff will be active for 2 turns. So she's a very simple character to use. Goal is to have her skill up at all times and to keep her health relatively high, since, you know, you don't want her getting one-shotted by attacks and you want her to survive, obviously. spam her ult to gain those self-heal triggers, and use her basic attack to stack SPs when her skill is in effect. She can heal a bit and help with damage reduction. Now, the main question is, can Fu Xuan solo sustain, meaning you won't need another defensive support? An example of a strong solo sustain character is Japar. If you spam his shield all the time, you won't ever need a healer or any other survival supports. You can concentrate on having a DPS unit and 2 other supports to increase your main DPS's damage. The problem with Fu is that you're still taking damage as opposed to a shield that prevents all damage. Yes, there is a reduction to it and she absorbs some hits, but HP for everyone is still slowly dwindling. And yes, of course, her ult heals a bit, but the question becomes, is that enough, or are your characters just slowly dying? Post-release testing needs to be done, obviously. So who should you pull for? Well, the thing is, Dan and Fu are complete opposites. This depends if you already have a strong survival support. If so, go for the DPS monster because killing enemies as fast as possible is great and is really fun, and it's also necessary for Memory of Chaos. But let's say you don't need a DPS character, but you find that you're dying a lot and that you may need a survival support, in which case Fu can be of help. The primary issue is that we all know Dan will be an insane damage dealer, but the only reason why you may want Fu over him in terms of gameplay is that she can solo sustain, which, as I mentioned, we may need to test a bit after her release. So the thing is, I would prioritize Dan Heng Imbibitor. There are already existing supports that can help you with survivability, but to miss out on possibly one of the best DPS units so far can hurt. Well, comment down below to let me know which character you're pulling for. Of course, for me, I'm getting both of them, and my goal, of course, is to collect all characters for Star Rail. Same with Genshin Impact with the new Fontaine characters. My god, being a gacha gamer sucks. It does not help your bank account. Do not be a gacha gamer, folks. Do not spend money. But hopefully the gacha gods bless me with good luck. That will help a lot. But hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future Star Rail videos. And if you, of course, you play Genshin, which I assume most of you do, Fontaine release is great. I did a review on which 4.0 characters you should pull for. Check that video out and subscribe for Genshin content as well. I'll be covering both. Good luck on your pose, everyone. Till next time.